हेलो गाइस, मैं हूं तन्मय भट्ट और आपका स्वागत है मेरी यूट्यूब चैनल तन्मय भट्ट में। दोस्तों, हमने सी लैंग्वेज के पार्ट 4 में देखा था कि बेसिक सिंटेक्स के बारे में। तो दोस्तों, हम इस वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं डेटा टाइप्स के बारे में। तो चलिए हम उसके बारे में देखते हैं। डेटा टाइप्स in C refer to an extensive system used for declaring variables or function or different types. The data types of a variable determines how much space it occupies in storage and how the bit pattern stored in interpreted. The types in C can be classified as follows. First, basic syntax. They are arithmetic types and are further classified into A integer type and B floating pointer types. Second, enumerated types. They are again arithmetic types and they are used to define variables that can only assign certain discrete integer values throughout the program. The type void, the type specified void indicates that no value is available. Derived types, they include pointers types, array types, structure types, union types, and function types. The array types and structures types are referred collectively as the aggregate types. The type of a function specifies the type of the function's return value. We will see the basic types in the following section, whereas other types will be covered in the upcoming chapters. Let's see the basic data types. Its size is given according to 64-byte achieved architecture. Character 1 byte, signed character 1 byte, unsigned 1 byte, integer 4 byte, signed 4 byte, unsigned 4 byte, short integer 2 byte, signed short integer 2 bytes, unsigned short integer 2 byte, long integer 8 byte, signed long integer 8 byte, unsigned long integer 8 byte, float 4 byte, double 8 byte, and long double 10 byte. The void type के बारे में हम बात करते हैं दोस्तों। तो अब function returns as void. There are various functions in C which do not return any value, or you can say they return void. A function with no return value has the return type as void. For example, void exit integer status. Function arguments as void. There are various functions in C which do not accept any parameter. A function with no parameter can accept a void. For example, integer rand void. Pointers to void. A pointer to type pointers to void. A pointer of void star represents the address of an object but not its type. For example, a memory allocation function void malloc size t size returns a pointers to void which can be casted to any data type. What is the meaning of range of data type? A data type is an abstraction that is applied to a chunk of memory to see that piece of memory as an area that can represent a value. For example, a single byte consists of 8 bits of memory. In the following diagram, each bit is represented by an underscore. Since we have 8 positions where we can input either 0 or 1, as each memory bit can only be set to an on or off state, hence binary. So we can have or 256 combinations or distinct value we can represent from the 8 bits. This is where the concept of range comes into play. How do we allocate those 256 combinations of value to an usable range. One way is to take the first of the 256 combination as a 0. For this data type, the range is from to. This type is generally called an unsigned byte as the value it can represent is unsigned as it has no sign. Basically, it is handled as if it were all positive numbers. On the other hand, since we have 256 combinations, what if we assign half to them as positive numbers, while the other half is negative numbers? So, we assign a positive or negative value to byte representation. With this type of representation in the same 8 bits, we could define a way to represent a range of numbers from to. This represents is generally called a signed byte because it is byte type that can have both positive and negative representation of the number. In comparing unsigned byte and signed byte, their ranges are different. However, they are both have 256 possible combinations of values they can represent. They only differ by the range of values they can represent. That's the range of data type. Similarly, this can be extended or integer, long, float and double types as well. The number of bits that are unsigned to each data type is different. Not the actual number of bits for each type, such as the integer and long, can be implementation and architecture dependent, so the above chart is not necessarily true. In the above chart, integer type is represented by 16 bits, which is or combinations of values that it can represent. Again, like the byte, the range of values can be all positive or split into positive and negatives. Floating point types such as float and double are also represented by a bits in memory, but their data representation differ from integer data types such as byte and integer in that they will store a value in memory as binary functions and exponents. Floating point types also do have the concept of ranges as well. The 3 fields in a 64-bit EII-75 float. Most types in C are machine dependent, so you should look the limit.h provided by your compiler from your architecture. The above program will print 1 as its output because it will be out of range. But the same above program will run for unsigned values. Here numeric has one storing 1 in integer x and then displaying x will display 1 because by default integer signed, but is in case of unsigned integer numeric, it will be converted to equivalent to complement. A mathematical operation to revisibly convert a positive binary number into a negative binary number with equivalent negative value. अब हम दोस्तों बात करते हैं फॉर्मेट स्पेसिफायर्स इन सी के बारे में. The format specifiers are used in C for input and output purposes. Using this concept, the compiler can understand that what type of data is in a variable during talking input using the scanf function and printing using printf function. Here is a list of format specifier. परसेंटेज सी है कैरेक्टर के बारे में, परसेंटेज डी है साइन इंटीजर, परसेंटेज ई स्मॉल ई और परसेंटेज कैपिटल ई. Scientific notation of floats. Percentage F float values. Percentage small g or percentage capital G similar as the small e or percentage e के बारे में. Percentage HI signed integer short. Percentage HU unsigned integer. Percentage I unsigned integer. Percentage I or ID or LI यानी कि long. Percentage IF double. Percentage IF long double. Percentage LU unsigned integer or unsigned long. Percentage IIU unsigned long. Percentage octal representation. Percentage B pointer. Percentage H string. Percentage U unsigned integer. Percentage X or percentage X hexadecimal representation. Percentage H prints nothing. Percentage prints percentage characters. These are the basic format specifiers. We can add some other parts with the format specifiers. These are like below. A minus symbol sign tells left element. A number after percentage specifies the minimum field width. If string is less than the width, it will be filled with spaces. A period is used to separate field width and precision. We can use this format specifier for the scanf function also in the same manner. So we can take the input from scanf like above how we have printed. तो दोस्तों हमने आज बात की डेटा टाइप्स के बारे में. अब हम नेक्स्ट टॉपिक के साथ फिर मिलेंगे न्यू वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए गुड बाय.